Good morning, Pelham Road. Hope you're having a good day already. If not, I hope it's going to get better real soon. Yesterday we had our first theme song of the week. Today we audition our second theme song for the week. This one, I think you'll know. Some of you will. Some of you, if you're a little younger, may not know it. You'll want to go and look it up. I'll tell you the name of it after we hear a little bit of it. All right? So, good morning, Pelham Road. What do you think of this theme song? It's a Beautiful Morning by the Rascals. Now, what's interesting about this is this was done in 1967. 1967, for goodness sakes. Hope you enjoyed that. That's another good song, the Little Rascal, or not the Little Rascals, the Rascals doing Beautiful Morning. All right. Today, the question that I'd like you to respond to in the comments below is another choice sort of question. It's about travel again. When you travel, if you could travel, would you rather travel by yourself, and I mean really by yourself, nobody with you, just you? Or would you rather travel with a spouse? Or would you rather travel with a group of people, say 6 or 8 people in a group? So it's group, spouse, by myself. All right, that's your choices this morning. How would you like to travel? All right. Well, we're back to Ecclesiastes 3. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Time to be born, a time to die. Time to plant, time to pluck up what is planted. Time to kill, time to heal. Time to weep, time to laugh. Time to mourn, time to dance. Time to throw away stones, time to gather stones together. Time to tear, time to sow. A time to keep silent, and a time to speak. A time for war, and a time for peace. Now, you probably know this passage of Scripture, some of you do, because of the Byrds, a musical group. They made it famous. They used this almost word for word in a song. And we're returning today to consider the idea of what is our time. What is our time right now? You may also remember another passage about time from our scripture. In the book of Esther, Mordecai, who was the legal guardian and the cousin of Esther, not the uncle, told her, "For if you keep silent at such a time as this, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another quarter. But you and your father's family will perish." Who knows? Perhaps you have come to royal dignity today for such a time as this. Just to remind you of the story, a decree had been made by the king for the destruction of the Jews. And Esther was a Jewish woman who was also the queen. And Mordecai was pleading with her to intervene and speak up to the king on the behalf of the Jews. And Esther was really wrestling with what to do. Is it time to keep silent, or was it time to speak up? And at first, she sided with silence, believing it was just too dangerous to speak up. In recent weeks, celebrities and athletes have said derogatory statements about Jews. And while I'm really after an even larger point, it must be noted, the ones making these remarks are not in any position to bring real physical harm to the Jewish people. Nevertheless, words really do matter, and hateful words matter because they become the seeds for violence and prejudice. Now, Mordecai was facing down a decree, something that was from the government, something that had the authority to destroy the Jewish people. He wasn't facing down some sort of tweet from an uninformed athlete. Now, my larger point is many people who have hatred and division as their goal think any time is the right time to speak up. They don't put any governor on their mouth. They just speak up all the time. No matter the subject, they think the best interest is served by them speaking whatever comes to their mind. Now, on the other hand, many people who have justice and love as their goal oftentimes think it's just the right time to be silent. Of course, I know there are others who believe in justice and love and who speak up. And maybe they speak up every time they think about it. Now, back to Esther. She believed it may be best to be silent. She knew it would be best for her. Now, we know what the scripture says. We know what the Ecclesiastes writer says. Speak, there's a time to speak, and there's a time for silence, which is actually a sort of a false dichotomy. Think about all the issues in our time, just in our time right now, July 2020. Let's see if I got enough hands to. Injustice, cultural tension over privilege, police reform, free speech, peaceful protest, violence, Black Lives Matter, government responsibility, truth and transparency. What if the time for silence is actually a time to listen? Think about it. Esther needed to speak up, but was silent because she was afraid. But what if silence that the Ecclesiastes writer is after is not passive, but active? What if listening is what silence looks like? Not speaking up and not remaining silent because we're afraid, but using our ears to listen. Could that be the writer's point? There is a time to use our mouth, and there is a time to use our ears. How might we live in God's vision for our time if we listened? Listen to African Americans express how they feel alone, abused, and disenfranchised in their own country. Listen to Jews about everyday situations where words are used to keep them in their place, and how being a minority of 2% in our nation is actually terrifying. Listen to the police about the weight they carry on their body. Just strapped to them, they have enough firepower to destroy families. But each day they face people who have the potential to take them from their families. Listen to the teachers who are underpaid and, from the words of some, underappreciated. Listen to them about their concerns about being a teacher, an educator, something that is respected, but many people talk about them like they are nothing more than glorified babysitters. Listen to them and how that must hurt. Listen to doctors and scientists who gave their 20s staring into microscopes and skipping parties, and they use every afternoon of their life reading reports from Johns Hopkins and the Mayo Clinic and how they might feel. Listen to them with all that education, with all that expertise. How might they feel when people, real people in this world, listen to Warren at qbkilla.com or Sasquatch at gmail.com or some news host who never made above a C in biology? How do you think that makes them feel? Listen to their voices. So when we are silent, let us use the silence to listen. African Americans, Jews, policemen, teachers, doctors, listen to them so that when we do speak, we speak with more understanding and less judgment, more empathy and less fear, more solidarity and less division. Sorry for the long devotion this morning. Have a great day.